Hey guys, pretty shitty weather today, but a perfect opportunity for a Sunday roast. We've got ourselves a beautiful roast beef, as well as a beautiful rump lamb roast. Well, let's get cooking. So our roast beef is definitely going to take longer than our lamb. Let's get started with this piece of meat. In terms of the cut, which is pretty good, there's some nice intermuscular fat there, a couple of bits of fat that I'm going to trim away, but generally the trim is going to be super simple. I'm just going to work away at some of this fat as well as a silver skin and push that to one side. Just take your time, it doesn't need to be perfect here. As you can see, there's a little bit of fat on the side which probably wasn't going to render down given the fact that I'm only going to go for a medium rare type of finish. There's a couple of arteries or veins in there as well. Chop those out, job done, you're ready to go. Now I don't usually inject my meat, but today I fancied something different. I wanted to inject this roast beef with just some beef stock to give it some additional flavour as well as some additional tenderness. So all I'm going to do is just work my way around the piece of beef and just gradually inject that beef stock so I can get it as even as possible throughout the roast beef. Was this process worth it? Well, the end result was pretty good. She was super tender and juicy. Stick around to see what that looked like. For my rub today, I'm using Lane's Sunday Roast. So there's nothing in here which is out of the ordinary. I've got most of these ingredients anyway, but I had this sitting in the cupboard and I wanted to give it a bash on my roast beef. As always, cover all sides of your meat. There was no binder here today because with the injection this was pretty wet anyway as it was. Roll your roast around and just pick up any excess rub there. Job done, and this is looking pretty good to me. Given the fact I'm cooking a full roast today, there's going to be Yorkies, potatoes, pumpkins, vegetables, parsnips, etc. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for myself in terms of smoking the meat. So that's why I'm using my pellet Traeger smoker today. This thing is set to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. It's probably going to take me around 3 hours for the roast beef, and I'm guessing probably around just over an hour for the lamb. So this is cracking. When you're cooking roast beef, in terms of internal temperatures, 135 degrees Fahrenheit for a medium rare, 145 for a medium, and about your 150 for a medium to well done. Let's start prepping our lamb rumps now. I decided I wanted to do 2 different types of proteins today. I had it sitting in the freezer anyway, and I knew it was going to be pretty easy cooking in any case. So let's get started by removing some of the silver skin, as well as some of these gristly, harder bits of fat, which is going to be pretty crappy anyway. So all I'm doing here is I'm just feeling the piece of meat. Anything which is gristly or hard, I'm just going to cut that out. That was a super easy and quick trim. So let's get ourselves into our rub. We've got some rosemary. Sadly, no fresh rosemary. I'm all out of that, but I've also got some chili. We've got some garlic salt, pink Himalayan salt. Then we have some black pepper. Lastly, granulated honey for some additional sweetness. Olive oil, just to act as a bit of a binder, and then just make sure that you coat both sides of your lamb rump. If I had fresh rosemary, this would have been so much better. But unfortunately, I only had the dried rosemary. I had to do the job on this occasion. But if you can, get yourselves some fresh herbs. It makes a significant difference. We are 1 hour into the smoke. The reason why I'm going low and slow to start with is so I can get some beautiful smokiness throughout that roast beef. Let's take a closer look now, see how she's coming along. As you can see, I'm starting to get some of that beautiful smoky mahogany colour. In terms of the pellets that I was using today, believe it or not, I actually went for apple. Something for a little bit more sweetness. Usually I'd go something like cherry or
something like hickory, but I wanted to go with the apple today. I'm 2 hours in now, and as you can see, I'm hitting about that 115. I've got 20 degrees to go in order for me to achieve a medium rare. So let's get these rumps on now, because these will only take about an hour.
So when I put that lamb in, I put it up to 250 degrees just to get it a little bit hotter. We're now 2.5 hours into the cook. Let's go and have a look.
I've now got the colour that I was looking for. However, the internal temperature, it was still telling me I was in the early 120s, so a little bit more cooking time needed. These lamb rumps are only small, so I'm not surprised they got to 140 to 145 degrees pretty quickly. I was after a medium type of finish for this lamb. So they went onto the barbecue first for a sear. These lamb rumps only needed 90 seconds of searing on each side. Once they're done, wrap them up in some foil and just let them rest. Now with my roast beef, the family requested something on the medium side, around 145 degrees. Sadly, the cook was pretty much done in terms of the veggies and everything else. It wasn't going to get that far, it was going to be a medium rare. So I wanted to sear this off best I could and try and cook it a little bit more for the family. But in terms of the result, it ended up being a medium rare. As for the lamb though, that's a pretty good medium in my opinion. You've still got plenty of juice and flavour popping out. In terms of when I tasted this, it was absolutely delightful. As I said earlier, if we had fresh herbs, it would have been even better. But let's turn our attention now to the roast beef. The injection has certainly done its job. Just look at the juices flowing from that roast beef. Absolutely brilliant. You can see there hints of smoke ring as well because we cooked it low and slow. When I tasted this, it was salty, it was peppery, it was absolutely beautiful. For me, absolutely perfect. And then of course, top it off with some gravy over some Yorkshire puddings. Happy Sunday roast dinner. So there you go guys, a couple of different proteins, a beautiful Sunday roast dinner on a wet, cold, wintry day. For me, that was absolutely outstanding cook. Could have been a little bit further along for the rest of the family in terms of that roast beef, but I was happy. I like it medium rare. Thanks for watching guys. See you again soon.